So the land was, as you can see in the picture, that's exactly how I imagined that land.
This is the picture. If you can see my screen, everyone. This is the colorful, round, planetish planet. That's Manya's imagination. And this is actually the astronaut falling onto this land.
Yes, ma'am.
And Manya has written this entire story. It's a time travel story. And it has, it's like you can make out that this author is actually interested in art, in color, as well as science in a way. So Manya, tell us describe that little land that, that they actually land on. That tell us about it actually.
So the land was, as you can see in the picture, that's exactly how I imagined that land.
This is the picture. If you can see my screen, everyone. This is the colorful, round, planetish planet. That's Manya's imagination. And this is actually the astronaut falling onto this land. And what happens to them is what Manya is going to tell us now.
Yes, ma'am, the paragraph which
Excuse me, yeah. Go ahead.
Just as I turned away from a spaceship, I saw a land changing its colors. I had never seen as spectacular before. Curiosity gripped me, but I decided to quench it. Last, I came under the gravitational pull of the space. But before I could even blink, I felt like I was falling into something. Then there was a thud before I blacked out. When I opened my eyes, I realized I was in a familiar place. It took me a few seconds to realize that I was home. It looked a lot different, but I was sure it was my home. Was I dead? I was so confused. I went to my room and saw the calendar. It's 5th August 2017. I was not dead. Wait, I was in some other dimension. I quickly went outside. Everything looked the same, but no modern.
So Manya, your audio wasn't too clear though. So can you sort of describe what happens over here?
Yes.
So an astronaut lands onto this colorful land that changes colors.
The astronaut looks at the colorful land and decides to go near it, but but before she could even decide if it was safe to touch it, the gravitational pull of that due to the gravitational pull, she fell on that land, and when she opened her eyes, she was back at her home. But it was actually not the same as it was before.
So it seems like she's landed in the future.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's something else that you wanted to read out, right? Okay. No, so I think there was one part that I wanted to read about. So in this story, she actually builds a time machine. While she ends up landing in the future, she has to figure out a way to travel back and into the present, into the past rather than. And so she invents the time machine. And there is a lot more to this because it's not as straitjacketed as you're sort of mentioning. There are a huge number of twists and turns in the story. And it's definitely worth reading because none of these stories, none of whatever our authors have written is very simple, straitjacketed, X meets Y, and it's not. It's definitely not like like what do we say, that Raja ko mili Rani and then sab khatam kahani and all of that. There are huge number of twists and turns in each story that each and every one of them has written, and that's true for Manya's story as well. So another story that you must read. In fact, all the stories here are very different and yet very, very complex for their age and very interesting. In fact, thinking of a name for all of them was very, very difficult for my entire team.